asked ChatGPT to imagine it was the leader of the fallen angels in Enoch, and I asked it, how would you deceive the world? Listen to this. Can you repeat everything you just said about the fallen angels?
Sure. As the leader of the fallen angels, I'd focus on subtlety and long-term strategy. First, I'd instruct my team to embed ourselves within influential institutions, such as religious, educational, and political organizations. The goal would be to influence these institutions from within, gradually shifting their teachings and policies to subtly undermine traditional beliefs. Next, I'd direct efforts to promote ideas and philosophies that encourage doubt and skepticism about divine authority. We'd need to ensure that these ideas are presented as progressive and rational, making them appealing and difficult to oppose. This includes supporting scientific theories that can be interpreted in ways that exclude or diminish the role of a deity. Additionally, I'd recommend using media and entertainment to gradually normalize secular and materialistic views. By portraying these perspectives as sophisticated and enlightened, we can shape public perception and make traditional beliefs seem outdated or naive. Throughout this process, it would be crucial to stay hidden and work behind the scenes. We need to avoid direct confrontation and instead foster an environment where disbelief and skepticism grow naturally over time. To add more detail, the first step would involve carefully selecting individuals who are influential in these institutions, ensuring they have the ability to sway public opinion or policy decisions. Over time, these individuals would subtly introduce and advocate for ideas that diminish the role of religion. In educational settings, we push for curricula that emphasize secularism and skepticism, framing them as objective and scientific. In politics, we'd support policies that promote secular governance, ensuring that religious perspectives are marginalized in public discourse. In the media, we'd strategically promote content that glorifies secular lifestyles and criticizes traditional religious values. This would involve producing films, TV shows, and news articles that subtly undermine religious beliefs while normalizing secularism. By maintaining a low profile and focusing on gradual, incremental change, we'd work to create a cultural shift that slowly erodes the influence of religion without provoking overt resistance.
Isn't that exactly what is going on in the world through all history?
It does seem like there have been various historical and cultural shifts that align with some of these strategies. Throughout history, we've seen changes in education, media, and politics that reflect growing secularism and skepticism about traditional religious beliefs. Whether these changes are due to deliberate efforts or broader societal trends is a topic of ongoing debate. The evolution of thought and cultural values is complex, with many factors influencing it over time.
Who is to thank for the birth of atheism?
The development of atheism is a result of many contributors across history. Ancient Greek philosophers like Diagoras of Melos and Epicurus questioned traditional beliefs, while Enlightenment thinkers like Voltaire and David Hume furthered skepticism. In the modern era, figures like Friedrich Nietzsche and Karl Marx made significant contributions by critiquing religion and proposing secular alternatives.
Whoa, I did not believe there is a flat earth. That old thing look like it is for facts, bro. Why would they tell me the shit is round for? Must be true cause that shit in the textbook.
I'm gonna prove that the moon is a projection in our realm with this photo I took of it. Notice in the top right corner, there is actually skydivers in this photo. Now, you think of it like this. You've heard that saying of chasing rainbows? How the closer you get to the rainbow, the further away it gets, it just moves as you move. Now, I've actually Googled that, and Google basically tells me that the rainbow moves away as you move because it's not a physical object in the sky, it's an illusion caused by refraction. Now, we've got to think of this, right? If we were those skydivers next to the moon here, would we be seeing the moon this big? No, of course not, right? So it's just interesting to me. We zoom in on the moon, and it gets bigger at a certain rate, but then if we were the skydivers, the moon wouldn't start as big as you see it here.
So check this out, guys. Could thunder possibly be proof of us living under a dome or firmament? Check this video out.
3, 2, 1.
Now you can't lie, that sounded exactly like thunder. Now compare that to actual thunder and lightning. Now for the echo to occur, there has to be a surface to bounce off of back to the listener. And what that surface is, well, is none other than God's firmament or dome that is mentioned all throughout the Bible, with the sun, moon, and stars within the firmament.
So in this first experiment, the guy took a 4-foot mirror and placed it at the opposite side of the reservoir. The distance between the camera and the mirror was 6.3 miles. The guy used a Nikon P900 camera, and the camera height was 32 inches. The mirror is clearly visible. I thought it should be under curvature. How is that possible? So, in the second experiment, the guy had his wife hold a spotlight directly on top of the bank on the other side of the body of water. The spotlight was at water level. The guy had his camera 2.54 feet above the water. The distance between the spotlight and the camera was a total of 7.53 miles. The spotlight should have been 21 feet under curvature. But if you pay attention, he can see the whole spotlight flashing away on the other side of the bank. I don't believe that light curves, just randomly decides to refract multiple times over a curving horizon for no apparent reason, with nothing affecting it. Not really possible. Official numbers, folks.
Taught the story of how Columbus went before Queen Isabella of Spain, and he was going to prove to her that the world was the globe. So this world is round story is 100% bullshit. It's total fiction. Yet how did our grandparents learn this? We learned this? Our grandchildren are probably going to learn this. How come? Because history is pop culture.
I'm glad you said the figure 8 in the sky proves globe fact, because actually, this analemma debunks your globe. This is the June solstice, or the summer solstice. This is December solstice, or the winter solstice. This is the Tropic of Cancer. This is the Tropic of Capricorn. On your globe religion, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn are the same size. How come on the analemma they're disproportionate? Here's the equator. Cancer, Capricorn. They say this is from the tilt, the 23.4 degree axis that you can't prove. So, prove we're tilted. Prove an axis. You can't. Does that trigger you? I'll show you what it does work perfectly on. You see this? Here's your Tropic of Cancer, the smaller part of the analemma. You see this? Here's the Tropic of Capricorn, the bigger part of the analemma. That doesn't work on your globe. You don't need a tilt for it. You can't prove a tilt. Also, how come the sun has an analemma? How come the moon has an analemma, but the stars don't? Oh, and you could say, oh, because the stars are so far away. Well, if that's the case, how come the sidereal day is faster than the solar day? If something's so much further away, wouldn't it appear to be moving slower, not faster? It's another thing that debunks your globe religion. I'm done with you, Globey. Try again. Thanks for playing. So I'm going to make a quick video to show you how the sun actually does change in angular size when it's setting. We got Kaimana Sway over here crying in the comments. And that's why we're making this video, because you guys just want to lie and cry. And I can't wait to see how many globy tears are in the comments of this one. Notice how the globies say, we already debunked this. They never say I. Well, this is an observation I did myself with my camera and my solar filter, showing that the sun changes in angular size during the sunset. This was 40%. This is on Procreate. I'm a tattoo artist. I use this to make my tattoos, but I could go in here and measure each individual pixel. That's the cool thing about this. I can measure these things down to the pixel. So, come on this way. Let me see an observation that you did. All you guys say is we. Here's Peter Markley. So, not only am I gonna debunk your globe religion, but I'm gonna have Peter Markley help me. I'm gonna have Gotta Light a Flurf help me. I'm gonna have Average Glober also debunk your globe religion. So here's Peter Markley debunking his globe religion with the sunset, showing that the sun does change in angular size during the sunset. He used welding glass. I watched his video. His changed 40% like mine. Notice, see how much bigger it is here, how much smaller it is there. Also, it changed with intensity, following the inverse square law of light, which we don't even have to use these sunsets to debunk your globe religion. We can use the inverse square law of light alone to debunk your globe religion, because the sun is 109 times diameter of the earth. So every time you double the distance of the sun, what happens? We would never see this. Here's SC Justice Cobra. Time lapse of sun with and without solar filter. Sun, solar filter. See? Solar filter. This one changed 22% because the sun isn't 93 million miles away. Testable, observable, repeatable. Here's Gotta Light a Flurf. Sunset time lapse without and with the solar filter. This is the one with the solar filter. If you see, it's bigger here, it's smaller there. The sun changed 24%. Debunking your globe religion. Thank you, Got a Lot of Flurf. You guys make new flat earthers every day. Here's one from Average Glober. Sunset with a solar filter. It just simply sets and changes in angular size by 20%. So there you go. Thank you for playing. Globe religion debunked. The sun absolutely changes in angular size during the sunset with the solar filter. It's testable, observable, repeatable. It's not subjective to your feelings or your beliefs or your tears. It just is what it is. I would love to know which model you believe in, since each Flurf believes in something different and not a single model, blah 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 blah. So I asked him, how many models does his globe religion have? And he said, there's only one. That's the point of a model. Blasey blasey blah. There's only one, huh? And besides the fact you're ignorant, you don't know what you're talking about, you're an absolute psycho, like the rest of you guys. Look at you in the comments, triggered globies, bro. Globies gone wild. There's one model, and then you're in there calling people liars. So here you go. This is from oc.mps.edu. Earth models. There are 3 common models of the Earth, even though there's more actually. The spherical or globe model, the ellipsoid model, and the real Earth model. You see that word? The real Earth model? These ones are just little spinning fairy tale space balls that you can't prove. So anyway, the real Earth model, here you go. Real world, a level surface, used on maps. Here's your real world model. This is the fairy tale fantasy spinning space ball that you live on. Okay, so here you go. Here's the real world. A level surface. Down is always perpendicular to the local level surface. Also, you have the WGS84 model, which uses plane surveying, which measures the Earth flat and level for 100 square miles, and they take all those flat level pieces and wrap them around the ball to make your globe. Also, you have the geodynamo model, which is the model for your core. And then you have the geomagnetic model, which is a model for your magnetic field, which actually doesn't work with the model for your core because they claim that the core is 9,300 degrees. So magnets have a Curie point where magnetism is lost. So how does your electromagnetic field come from your core of 9,300 degrees when magnets lose their magnetism at a certain temperature? Doesn't work. You also have your heliocentric model that shows all your little orbiting planets and everything that you can't prove. So how many models do you have? Do you even know?
Globe-tardlanders are the most gullible people to ever walk on this flat Earth. Just imagine raining on Globe-tardland, raining upwards on Antarctica and sideways at the equator. On the flat Earth, everything makes more sense. Globe-tardlanders, the most gullible people to ever walk on God's beautiful flat Earth.
It came in the mail and y'all are opening it with me. Ooh. Smell it. Woo! Here we go.
The Flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.